August 27th, Bitcoin 4-hour chart via mexit.com. It looks like the forecast we made yesterday and over these last few days is being confirmed when we said it seemed like a period of lateralization was arriving, along with possible support and resistance levels that we are going to be studying. I'm Mikel Vasquez, and what we're going to do, or what we do on this channel, is look for that price movement forecast by analyzing the strategies that the smart money or institutions are using to deceive retail traders. Time and time again, when retail traders think the movement is going to go in one direction, the reality is that it goes in the other. In other words, they follow indicators, and those indicators arrive either too late or are completely misleading. What we do is look for those strategies. We have, the way we do it is by looking at price action, which you already know is the shape of the Japanese candlesticks, along with support and resistance levels, and above all, volume. Volume is the only element that the smart money cannot hide. We do it on a larger time frame. We go down to our 4-hour headquarters, and then we scalp or day trade the best positions. We were looking at what I was telling you about that support or resistance zone that seems to be confirming yesterday's clues. For the last 2 days, I've been telling you that a potential support and resistance zone was going to be support in the 79,000 area, looking for a resistance above 82,000. We've also had the 76,000 zone below, but in principle, it seems it hasn't even come close to that area. Okay. If you're interested in making money with trading, whether professionally or as a side job, I've designed a course where you'll stop looking at indicators and you'll understand what the market is really doing, what the strong hands are really doing, and you'll be able to make money the way they do. Let's continue with the analysis. Why? Why do we know this? Why do we intuit that strategy of the strong hands? Very well. First, we need to get into context. We are here. One candle equals 1 week. In other words, this is the long term. How the strong hands operate is by buying cheap, moving the price quickly when no one expects it, without clues or anything like that. They move the price either up or down and sell. In other words, we have now been in accumulation for 2 months, an impressive, surprising, and very fast markup, and now it is looking for that distribution zone. We thought that a good distribution zone was 79 or 82 because the last time Bitcoin's price was in distribution, as you can see, it was only 2 weeks. Normally, these lateralization zones are much longer, at least 2 months, as we saw with the previous one. That's why the movement was still loaded, plus this accumulation load. We understand that it is a good zone. Anyway, it's been 2 days that it's been approaching this zone, and in principle, everything is just suspicions or intuitions. We haven't started to see those bounces yet. When there is a lateralization zone, in this case distribution on the larger time frame, we have to see bounces with the price clearly approaching 82, clearly 79, like that, again and again, with intermediate plays. That is what we are going to wait for in the coming week, surely for several months. But I'm telling you, we are at an incipient moment of that movement. Very well, we are already at 4 hours, our headquarters, watching those movements from yesterday and the day before, trying to get close to 82, marking for itself or marking for us at the same time that high, then dropping to 79. Which seems to be, it is securing that zone very clearly, and this morning launching itself again to look for those highs. What we are going to wait for during these 7 days, week. The weekend is coming up right away. You know that the price usually slows down a bit, but there could be a sudden movement because we are still in a consolidation zone. What we can expect is, as we said yesterday, that movement in this 79-82 zone, getting closer to 7 to 79, consolidating, trying to approach 82. That is the expected movement in 7 to 10 days. And then, once it's confirmed, we'll be able to say if that's the channel or if it could be a slightly larger channel. No, we don't expect a clear breakout of that 79 zone during this time, but, there's always a plan B. In case it breaks clearly with a volume higher than 1.5 over 4 hours, It's a warning sign, a heads up that something's going on. I also mentioned to you yesterday that the strong hands, even though the candle spread isn't very large, are very active. That is to say, there are many, many candles with a lot of volume. Even the small candles, which normally stay at half a billion, here they are close to a billion, and even exceeding it. That's why the strong hands are very active. We're seeing this candle spread without too much volume either. For a move like this, we would expect a volume at least like this candle, which is at more than 2 billion to make this volume. What it is certainly indicating to us is that there's little resistance and that the strong hands can move this price very easily and very clearly. We'll wait for that forecast in 7 to 10 days, but stay tuned for tomorrow's video because you've already seen that today the confirmation clue for what we intuited yesterday has appeared. In other words, each clue just reinforces that intuition. First of all, it's always an intuition, because keep in mind that we don't strictly follow indicators, but rather we follow the strategies of someone who's trying to deceive us. So it's always investigative work. Very well, now that we have set those 7 to 10 days, we are going to get into that intraday scalping, where what we are looking for are zones, always 3 elements. We look for the specific 15 to 30 minute support or resistance zones that I explain in my course. Then, a moment of rejection. For example, right now, we are seeing a certain moment of rejection, but it could coincide with a pullback, which you have to be very careful about, and then a volume entry. For example, these same clues, if instead of finding them in this parameter, which is 80 when the highest high, 84.71 I think, instead of finding it here, we found it the other way around at 79. That is a volume entry, the appearance of a rejection, which if we were to put it on a 30-minute candle, we would start to see those wicks. In other words, if we see rejection wicks, arrival at an activity zone, and volume entry, it's a very suitable moment to enter for scalping or intraday trading. I wanted to tell you, as I tell you other days, that the VIP Telegram channel, where I post the entries I make daily, you can become part of the group. The only way currently is by signing up for the exchange mexc.com, which I consider to be the best, lowest commissions, very reliable, technical support is always at your disposal, and making a deposit. MXC will give you $50 as a welcome bonus, and I will give you access to the VIP Telegram for 1 month for free. After that, it costs 19 euros per month. I'm also showing you the entry I made yesterday, for the August challenge. I'm showing you the entry, I'm showing you the TP, I did it from my phone. And what I wanted to tell you is that, well, first to show you how it's going, how that challenge is going, which we started with $500, now it's at $664, $500 in one August. We've had problems this month with those very aggressive and surprising movements, but even so, we have $164. Let's hope we reach at least $200 this month. Whatever I earn, I will raffle off among everyone who signs up at mex.com and makes their first deposit. Next month, I'm considering doing it with $2,000 instead of $500, for example, starting with $2,000 and trying to make an average salary in Spain. I've been looking it up on ChatGPT, and the average salary is 1,900 euros. So I'm going to try to make at least $2,000 in the challenge. And in the same way, with that condition, for those of you who sign up at mex.com, I'll raffle off what? If I reach the challenge goal. If I don't reach 2,000, but I end up with 500, well, I might raffle it off anyway. I'm Michael Vasquez. This is Daily Bitcoin Analysis. I really appreciate you watching this video, and as I always tell you, this is not financial advice, but rather I am sharing my experience with you after more than 15 years in professional trading. Keep an eye on that consolidation at 79.82. It still hasn't clearly reached 82, and we're going to wait to see how it develops. See ya.